Right, hello, wisdom. How are we today? Welcome back. I hope everyone's going well. It's Christmas Eve right now, and yeah, probably be the final episode for me for this week. And basically, I hope you are all well. I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all looking after yourself during this Omicron stuff coming out. You know, it's quite scary, the things that we have to deal with, that. But I feel that, we just have to, move on with life, guys. And, it's something that we just have to get over. You know that. I truly believe that, if you found your soul's purpose, if you're doing your meditation practice, you know, and you think, how am I doing better? What strategies am I putting into place during this Omicron pandemic going ahead? I was just doing my meditation by Michael McIntosh on Insight Time, and I was just thinking about spiritual sunlight, guys, and spirituality during tough times that we live in. Spirituality during a lockdown. You know, always like to do a meditation, before I do a show live on Wisdom if I can. You know that. And I'm always thinking, how can I improve the podcast or the Stephen Shields radio show? What strategies can I put in place? How can I improve myself as well? It's nice this week to get out of the house. With one of my neighbours up the road. We went for a drive down to Silverwater. We had to pick up some stuff for the floor or tiling stuff, and then we went to the pub in the afternoon, had a beer at the pub, which was nice. It's just nice to get out of the house as often as you can, I mean, when you can get out of the house and socialise and get social, instead of being home all day working on a computer screen, which can be a pain in the backside. That's a blessing as well. Those little things and those little achievements. Now I believe in, I believe in myself. Definitely believe in myself, and wanting to look ahead for next year. Do you guys ever get memories of yourself when you're a kid and you look at old photos of yourself as a kid? I'm just looking at some old photos right now when I was a kid, and you think, wow, that was who I was. And, in those days, there was no iPhone back in 1993 or 1994. For my life too, I pretty much had a lot of challenges to overcome. But it doesn't stop me from wanting to go and succeed and wanting to find my life's purpose and my journey. This is my journey, doing the podcast. It's fun. Getting to, talk to people around the world. And, yeah, I feel that, I truly believe, that if we don't feel that we have purpose in our lives, no matter how much spirituality, spiritual practice we use, I certainly find that if you don't have that unconditional love, you can just forget it. Because it's like, where do you go? We can read all the philosophy books and the Tao Te Ching and Wayne Dyer books, and I'm a huge fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, Blessing of the Energy Centers, and all the spiritual books and the Muji Tea books as well. But I don't know. It's like there's so much stuff out there. Eckhart Tolle, New Earth. That'll have to be on my reading list eventually. But no, it's I think. Look, I'm not a spiritual teacher, but I'm a student. But I love spirituality, guys. I mean, everyone, relates to their own speakers. And isn't that amazing that, when you have your own spiritual teachers that you relate to, that you can get along with? You find that it feels better. You don't feel like you're overwhelmed. So I like, how can we do our spirituality practice, during tough times? I love anyone who's listening right now to hop on stage and let me know how you're coping spiritually during this Omicron virus hanging around, threatening us for a lockdown. what strategies do you have in place to help you become the best you that you can be and have the best year ever? Because isn't that what we want for 2022? We want to have the best year ever. The best year ever. I mean, I guess meditation and yoga can open up a lot of answers to questions that we just don't have the answer for. And me personally, it's amazing what can arise, in your life. I mean, what are the answers to your questions that you felt that have worked for you? What works for you? For me, it's all about forgetting the past. I feel that I want to just, do better every year. First year entrepreneur, I've paid my dues, I feel great. So next year there will be more great stuff coming ahead for you. You know that? I mean, I guess affirmations do work. I love my Tibetan bowls, singing bowls too, when I do a meditation and I can just let my mind go. That I love if there's anyone listening to, feel free to jump on stage on the Stephen Shaw's radio show and let me know where you're tuning in from, and how you relate to this topic as well. Look, for me, this year, Insight Time has really helped me a lot. Um, Insight Timer has helped me grow as a person, spiritually and mentally, emotionally. It's helped live my life with wisdom. It's helped improve myself too. And that's what I like about Insight Timer. It's got a community feeling to it. And that's what's helped me become better and better and better and better and better. I feel sometimes we have to just let go at times of certain things, of certain problems. You know, I don't know. I mean, sometimes you find that if you just, you know, dwell on a certain answer and it just doesn't come, I wonder why is that? You know, strange. I'd like to get your opinion on, you know, the topic right now, or just in general. What have you done to keep yourself healthy, mentally, spiritually, emotionally? You know, if you've gone through a relationship breakup, and, you know, going through a breakup with love can hurt you a lot. How do you overcome that? I'm always someone who's just wanting to look forward to the future. And I think just trusting myself and trusting yourself too. And slowly, gradually finding the answers. Answers come with time as well. But guys, don't forget, if you want to support my music on Bandcamp, you can by purchasing any of your favorite tracks. That will help support me as a musician. Also, too, I have music on Spotify. The links will be in the description when the podcast goes up live. This is the beauty about Wisdom. I'm recording a podcast at the same time on the show, so if you miss the show on Wisdom, it'll be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you subscribe to your podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode every Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time as well. Also, share any of your favourite episodes on your social media. And, you know, don't forget to support my Redbubble store and support me on Patreon as well if you'd like to send a monthly donation. Too, if you want ad-free episodes of the Stephen Shields radio show, that will help as well. I can see we've got some people swinging by, and if anyone would like to join on stage, I'm welcome to have a chat with you. You'll be on the Stephen Shields radio show. And this will be a good opportunity for you to, you know, let me know where you're tuning in from, and what you are doing this, what your plans for Christmas are, and the Christmas holidays, and, you know, what Christmas means to you. I think Christmas to me means a day of just peace and quiet. I've noticed now, like, I don't know, like, the issue with Christmas, like, I don't know if corporations in the future are just going to say, fuck it, we're going to open 365 days a year, which is just a bit strange. Like, McDonald's is open Christmas Day. I know, I think Pizza Hut are open on Christmas Day, but they never used to. And you think, what the hell? You were opening, on a Christmas Day? Shit! They never used to do that, 10 years ago. So I wonder why, and I'll let you answer that. How do you feel about businesses opening on Christmas Day? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? I can understand why a petrol station's open 365 days a year, but if you had the choice, would you work on Christmas Day? Or do you believe we should have that time off? I know there's people out there that don't celebrate Christmas. I do. But Christmas for me, having a Christmas tree, okay, is just another decoration. But Christmas for me is just a day. I think it's just a day of peace and my interpretation of Christmas. You know, I mean, everyone has different beliefs about it, which is fine. And sometimes we need a break to relax. And to find, out who you really are. Or who am I is a good one. Who am I? It's so good to set goals as well. And I find, that if you want to get something, you'll get something somehow. I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird. Like, is there an explanation to manifesting miracles? What miracles are you going to manifest in 2022? What miracles do you want to manifest in the next 5 to 10 years of your life? And these are things I'm always asking myself, and sometimes you just gotta let it go to the universe and let the universe just deal with it. Instead of just dwelling on it all the time. And do you ever wonder, well, what's next? Whether you have fitness goals, meditation goals, life goals, relationship goals, goals in general. And I can see we've got a guest waiting on stage. I'll let you on. Oh, okay. Just lost you. just lost you, by the way, so just come on stage when you can. I think the app's just glitching a bit since the update, so come back on stage. Let's see if this will work. Okay, anytime. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm all right. Just listening to your little chat, Ben. It's quite good.
Sweet. What?
I was thinking to myself, what am I going to manifest for myself? And I was sitting there just mulling it around as you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'm trying to manifest all sorts of things for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, this other part of me said, but if I manifest things and I kind of know what's going to happen in my future, I don't think I want to know sometimes. You know, I want a surprise every now and then, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of where I was at when you were chatting.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, and I was saying, like, 5-year goal. What's your goals for 2022? Do you have any things you want to achieve in 2022?
Yeah, I have set myself out a goal, and I'm sure a few people who've heard me talking before, they know what my goal is. It's a pilgrimage, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pilgrimage is something that, is rare in Great Britain, where I'm from. It's other people do pilgrimages due to their religious beliefs and things.
Mm-hmm.
But unusual, I'd say, in Britain for the pagans. That's what I am. I'm a pagan. I am based in nature and such like. And so I planned this a couple of years ago with my partner. We live on a boat, and we were saying lots of things were coming up in the way of our lives, like jobs, working for a living, making sort of food money and stuff, paying bills. And then we had a cat that was old, so the cat needed looking after. We couldn't go away and leave it in a cattery because it got really sick. And he's 21. He did all right. He's really bossy, but
That's old for a cat.
It is. He was an ancient sentient being. That's what he was. So we had him, and then we had my children. My daughter's got 3 kids and needed support because she was single parenting. And yeah, it's hard working these days, I'll tell you. And then I've got my mother-in-law who had the onset of dementia. So all this stuff was going on, and there was a piece of me here and a piece of me there. And I was starting to feel really closed in, and that my life was being led to serve, but not really. I wanted a day off every now and then, but it wasn't happening. I wasn't getting a day off every now and then. I was just serve, work, serve. And I've chatted to my partner. I said, I don't get the time that we used to have. We used to go out every day and just go and set up a little gas stove and make cups of tea and bacon sandwiches somewhere, by the coast or by a lighthouse or up the top of a hill. And I really missed it. I was feeling that these things were not happening, and each day was a new task to fulfill for other people, to be supportive. And that's when I came up with the plan. A plan. It had no time span to it. It wasn't like this time next year I'm doing this. It had no time span. It was when all this is over, let's go and do this walk, this pilgrimage that I was telling you about. And so once it was out there, the thought, things started happening that were really strange. The first thing was my daughter met her now wife, which was amazing. She met this lady, and they hit it off, and it was a complete curveball in the way that she lived her life. It wasn't her normal route, let's say that. So it was a surprise. But this lady has given her everything that my daughter needed. She needed to be calmed, reassured regularly It's just that she had her own personality traits that needed to be coupled with somebody else. Not everybody needs that, admittedly, but some people do work better with another soul, you know. And anyway, so this happened. She met this lady, and they hit it off. It was great. My cat, unfortunately, got to October this year, and he passed away, which was sad. And my mother, we went to look after her at her home, 24-hour care. And she was awake day and night, and we were so, so tired. At that point, I said to Brad, my partner, let's go. Let's start this plan in action now. Let's get it together. It's, you know, things have dropped off. So the need to be there for people dropped off. Brad left his job through mental health issues. He has what they call pure OCD, which is very debilitating for him. He's worked for the company that he worked for 25 years. But
that's a long time, 25 years in a company. You don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. And you won't, because Brad's left. But yes, we'd worked for this company for a long time. That had dropped off. My job is due to come to a grinding halt around springtime, which was, I thought it'd be November, but it's not. Through my own fault, I will admit. Excuse me. So, all this stuff was happening. It was clearing the path, basically. This plan. So, the plan's got closer now. So the plan now we can start constructing around the idea. So we started constructing around this idea. The walk we're doing follows a particular line from east to west across Great Britain. And we didn't want to walk it because we've done enough walking in our jobs to know that I don't want to be walking it. We'll get a bike, we thought. So we've weirdly acquired a couple of bikes. They're both Boardman bikes. I don't know if you know Boardman make, but they're pretty expensive. But they're really good and lightweight, so you can travel a long way on them, and they're sturdy and reliable. Anyway, my partner got one first so that he could do visits to his mum regularly because he doesn't drive. And he picked one up from on eBay for 400 quid. Well, it's worth 800 quid. That was a bargain, so that's great because we both losing our jobs pretty shortly, and we need to be careful with the pennies. And then I needed a bike as well, and we went into the local bike shop, rather large name bike shop, and had a look around one day, and I said, well, we can't really look around because I can't afford it. But there in front of me was this lovely Atlantic blue bike, and it's a Boardman, and it's a ladies' Boardman. And I said, yeah, that's a nice bike, Brad, that's all right, but, we'll have to check because we want to make sure that it's a good one. He went home, looked it up on the internet. Yeah, that's the bike you want, love. That's worth 800 quid normally. And they were selling it in this bike shop for 550. Bargain. So you can start seeing now that we are not rich people, but things are coming our way, because we've made a plan, an idea. And so all these things are happening and coming together. Brad's mum eventually went in to be nursed in a home because we couldn't stay awake 24 hours a day for too long without becoming really tired. And I felt that we couldn't offer her what she really needed. So, eventually we managed to get her a place and get her looked after, which is nice. And she's all right. She's settled in well. But all these things have happened, and it's all for the journey. And talking about spirituality, the reason I'm going is to be close to my partner, who's very spiritual. He's very gentle, tranquil soul, and we're following the ley lines that give off energy across the country. And I wanted to see, is this true? Is this true that certain places give off positive energy or negative energy, you know? So that's my test. So my
Yeah.
plan is cyclocross, be free, which is what I wanted. And originally, that was the whole thing, was like we were feeling so enclosed, so constructed, you know, and had to be certain places, certain times for certain people. By doing this cycle ride, we were free. We'd get a tent, camp out, eat out, and stay out.
Nice. Get out in nature. Yeah, and I wanted to know, are you going back into a lockdown where you are? I know there's talks of that in Australia. How's your spiritual practice been during the pandemic?
It's been, I live on a narrow boat, so that's kind of helpful, because it means that I'm sort of tucked out of the way. I can still sit outside or sit inside and still be in nature, which is my basis of my spirituality. I probably get that from nature, really. So the lockdown for us was really good because it meant no people, which was quite lovely. And all wildlife started to feel a bit more, you know, oh, there's nobody around, Cyril. Come on, let's get out there. And you could see things that you wouldn't normally see. Like I saw a pair of kingfisher birds make a nest opposite my porthole window. And I was watching them for about 4 days. And then as April came round last year, people were then allowed to go outside for a bit longer than the, you know, half hour or so. So it's like social distancing came in then. And they came out and they were out on their body boards and their paddle boards and stuff. And they were paddling up and down past this nest site. And 4 days later, there was no kingfishers. They'd moved, they'd gone. So that's how it affected me, really. The first lock, a blessing, really, to me. And at the moment, we are in Great Britain. We are at the place where, at the moment, there is no lockdown, but the Prime Minister reserves the right to change that if necessary. So that's how we are. We've been asked to keep our contacts few. So over the Christmas period, everybody wants to go around to see everybody. We've been asked to keep it minimal. So to reserve and stop the spread of Omicron, which is rising quite rapidly. As far as I know, and as far as the news tells me, it is Omicron is quick spreading, but not as what would you say, damaging, I suppose, as crippling or whatever as the Delta variant. So that's where we are with that. But it's the only thing really that could put the scupper on the plan. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We'll just have to move on from this, you know.
Yeah. I think the pandemic has definitely encouraged me with it, because I want to break free from this. I do not want this pandemic to change my world to the extent that I have to live my life in a way that is organised by others, you know, of authority. I'm not used to that. I don't want that in my life, really. I don't want it in anyone else's either.
New South Wales, Australia's just become a police state.
Yeah,
I never thought we'd be living in a police state in my life, actually, and it's just, yesterday I was just pissed off about all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I like to go hiking.
Everyone has allowed it to happen. Everyone has allowed this to happen because nobody has questioned it at all. They have followed the line because of coercion to a degree, I'd say. Because if you don't do this, you can't have that. And that is the wrong way. You know, it's a shame. It really is a shame. And I'm the same as you. I'd have never have thought it would have come to that. You know, a police state is not what you want anywhere in a democratic place, is it?
No. A lot of people were protesting too this year, and they were pissed off, and I don't know what's going to
But
happen.
it doesn't go anywhere. Even people protesting and things, it's all not aired. You know, to every coin there is two sides. That's all I've got to say on the subject, really, without being told off or kicked off, which I don't want to happen, because obviously I still want to live my life normally. Yeah, there's two sides to each coin.
No, there is. I mean,
be allowed to view both sides of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, they're both. You know, you get Fox News, and then you got the BBC. They both do the same, demoralise each other. Because I listen to both.
Yes. Yeah, they do. In fact, they have the same narrative. To be honest with you, you'll hear the same thing on any channel. That is the case, and you know, it's how life is now, and it's can make you feel down, which is another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to just be free, really. Even if it means a whole journey I have to just talk to people via a phone, I'll do that. Even if it means I have to test myself every day, I will do that. I'll do what it takes for me to be able to do that, to travel that line and to take people with me via the connections that we have. We've got modern day technology. It's advanced so fast and so quick. I mean, every step I take, someone could be with me from anywhere, really. And I want to do that. It is a calling to me to try and publicise my walk or my cycle ride and the freedom. I want to publicise it massively because it's something we haven't had that I want back. I want it back for everyone, you know.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not fun sitting on a computer all day doing Zoom and online learning. I find it's very disengaging for me. People need to be out. I want to be out.
It's good for all your energy lines yourself as a person to be physical and to be in contact physically with somebody, you know, to actually exercise yourself, go outside and be existing in this actual world rather than the virtual world, you know, or the world that you've made inside your house kind of world. To be outside in the actual world is something that we don't do enough of. The only good thing about lockdown was a lot of people suddenly got dogs and bicycles. So that was a bonus. But they seem to have forgotten how good that was to get outside of that house and do that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I mean, getting out in nature as much as you can is very healthy for you too.
Yeah, it's good for your soul, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's good for your soul. It feeds you. It fills you up. Makes you feel real.
Yeah.
You know, when you can feel the wind or you can feel the dampness in the grass and touch stuff, it makes you realise that you do actually exist in this multi-dimensional world that we live in, you know.
So, what you got any meditation apps that you're using?
No, I don't use any meditation. I just breathe, you know, and I kind of do relaxation where I start from the top of my body and tense each muscle as I go along, you know, like head, frowning, smiling, relaxing, neck, you know, and then work my way right the way down to my toes, all the time breathing in. And that's basically what I do. And I try and empty my mind, or I'll take my mind to somewhere that I find pleasurable. So for me, it's the coast. and I will conjure up the sound in my ears of the sea coming across a pebbled shore. Because when it comes up and down at a pebbled shore, it's such a reassuring sound.
Yeah, it is good. The beach is good, and by a waterfall. So I started doing breath work. I started learning about breath work. I did my chakra practice last night too. I like Tibetan bowls, binaural beats.
They say that your chakras are going to be very, very important to you in the time to come.
Yeah.
Because we are going through massive changes, and they say the heart chakra is very important for the future. It's what I hear, you know, because we are not only along with pandemics and things, we are actually in a pole shift at the moment. And the magnetosphere is moving as well. So it's good to keep the chakras going right and spinning well and open, and yeah, it is a good thing. So that's great. That's great. Good thing to do.
And so what, do you watch any entertainment to keep you entertained, or what's on your reading list?
Oh, I have at the minute. I've just finished a book called The Salt Path, which a friend of mine lent me. There's a couple of things that I do that I enjoy. One of them is metal detecting, which I love. A very, very therapeutic. You're out in the field trying to find something ancient, and usually you end up finding an old nut or bolt or a horseshoe. But it's still a find. Like a find is a find. And whilst I was out metal detecting, a friend of mine lent me this book called Salt Path. And it's about this lovely lady who found herself in a situation where she was going to lose her house that she'd had for years. And her husband was diagnosed with a debilitating terminal disease. And she lost everything, and she set off down the south coast of Britain walking with this man. And the reason I picked the book up, her husband, was because I wanted to see what their adventure was. And I kind of made a shopping list for my own, you know, things that went awry for them. I was going to go, right, I'm going to buy duct tape. I need duct tape on this trip. Or a decent sleeping bag because they said it was cold. I'll pack myself one jumper, you know, and this kind of thing. I was reading it, so that was really good for me. I also, I like photography. I like taking pictures because where I live offers me a lot of opportunity to take some lovely pictures of the wildlife. So I do that. I read other things, like I've got a couple of books here. Let me go and have a look. I'm in my lounge at the minute. Well, I'm in my Brad's mum's lounge at the moment. New Light on the Ancient Mystery of Glastonbury by John Mitchell. Great writer. That's one book. And it takes you around the stones and things of Britain, like Stonehenge and Salisbury, Avebury, places like that. There's another one called The Sun and Serpent, and that's written by Hamish Miller and Paul Broadcast. And this is where I've got the line that I'm following, the ley lines from. Because they've got that. That's a little map in there of that and some wonderful stuff. And then I've got another book by Julian Cope, which is an amazing guy, Julian Cope. And that is The Modern Antiquarian. Yeah, that one's called. That's a nice read. A pre-millennial odyssey through megalithic Britain. So there you go. He'll take you there. He'll take you these places. It's great. It's just a little bit of inspiration for me, really. So that's my reading. And what else do I do? Things I like watching. I do like a bit of sci-fi, I have to admit. I also like a little bit of detective stuff, you know. I like to get into a good thriller. Get myself going a bit. I like to visit my family. They live a little bit away from me. My son lives in Bristol, so I like to go and see the lights in the city of Bristol. It's all very arty there. Very boheme. And I'll visit my daughter down in Cornwall, who I've introduced to wisdom. So I'm hoping that she'll be on one day and she'll be chatting to you herself, hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, she's far more interested than me. And she's lovely. She's great. And then I've got my other daughter and my grandchildren that I look after as well. So I have a pretty full up life. So, and my mother, obviously, and my narrowboat. So that's what I'm up to. What do you do then, Steve? What do you do?
I do this. I do the podcast, the Stephen Shields Radio Show. So I've got that. I've got music on Spotify. I am a composer. I do hiking, as you know. I like to get out. I do yoga. I do a yoga on an app on my phone. I don't go to a studio.
I love music. I love music. I couldn't live without music. That's the one thing that I haven't mentioned, but I do love sound. I love it. I can't play an instrument. I can sing. I love singing. It has to be like quite low though, because I can't hit the high notes.
What I'll do, I'll send you my Spotify through your Instagram. How's that?
That would be great. I'd love that.
I'll do it now.
Oh, great! Fantastic.
Yeah. No, so that's what I do. I'm a trained classical musician. And I decided to be an entrepreneur last year.
How you doing? How are you getting on? You doing all right?
It's very hard. I'm still trying to build my following at the moment.
Oh, you'll get there. I followed you. And everyone else who's listening, that's 47 people. They can all give you a follow. We will lift you. We will lift you and you will get there. Now you've got 48. So 48 lovely listeners, including myself probably. Stephen,
exactly.
We're going to follow him. We're going to support him and help him become who he wants to be. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, you go for it, and I'll support you any way I can, as you know.
Thank you. And I do the podcast because what I like about the podcast is I get to talk to people around the world, with all these apps. But eventually I want to have a studio one day. Yeah. But obviously COVID, we can't. Sort of have to be on Wisdom.
Yeah. And this platform's great, though, because I've tried other ones, and I find it quite difficult with more than one person.
What have you tried?
I've tried stereo, and there's another one that everyone goes on about. I can't remember what the name of it is right now.
Clubhouse?
Clubhouse, that's it, yeah. And I can be on there trying to be comfortable somewhere, and it's just the setup of it. It's like going from a semi-detached house to a high-rise block of flats where there's a lot going on, and I can't deal with the high-rise block of flats with lots of people. And I've chatted to a couple of people, but it's too big for me. It's too big for what I need, So, and I find here that people are very, very supportive, very kind, and it's a nice platform. It's easy to use. I can follow it well, and it feels like you're sat in my front room with me, chatting to me right now, and that's lovely.
Well, and that's what I like. I was on the Spotify green room. I don't know what's happened. It's just so quiet. No one shows up anymore, so I just stopped doing podcast on there. I just moved to Wisdom.
The thing is, I think podcasts have become so popular that you get lost in the sea of them now.
Yeah.
So I think, this way on here, you can connect with people, and obviously you can link yourself to your other places. Like I'm linked to Facebook, Twitter, and somewhere else. I can't remember where else I'm linked to. Instagram, that's it. And that's helpful to me. That's enough. That'll do. People can see everything that I'm about there, and I can talk to people like I'm talking to you, and it's just so much more comfortable. And I will say, I've spoken to Stephen. I'll probably say it tomorrow or later. I spoke to Stephen about that, and who's that? Stephen Shields. Yes, yeah, I know. And that is what happens. And it might not be one person, but they might talk to 6 people. and that is how it happens. So you've already got 51 on here now. So that's 51 people who are going to follow you now, Stephen.
So tell me, like, because I'm a huge meditation fan. I've interviewed meditation teachers on my show, and I'm a student. How's your practice been throughout your life?
For meditation?
Yeah.
Well, I started off life as quite a quiet person, really, and there wasn't a lot going on. And then I've become overly noisy. In other words, my little brain, I would be going through day-to-day tasks or walking down the street, and a little voice inside my brain had to comment on everything. It didn't like address me in the third person or anything weird, but it did comment on everything I saw. Greenhouse, red car, wonder what they're doing. And it would opinionate, this voice would opinionate. So I decided one day, when I'd had enough, everything was very noisy, I had to constantly go around and find somebody to play with. I couldn't be on my own. You know, so meditation for me was out the window. When I tried it, I got distracted so easily. You know, I would be, I'll try now. Oh, I'll put the kettle on, I'll have a cup of tea in a minute. And this voice would keep interrupting me and interrupting any chance that I had of just being, which is what I think meditation is. It's just a case of being and feeling and just existing and enjoying the feeling of existing. That's what I think. That's my version of meditation. So I made a conscious effort one day to actually think to myself, I no longer need the voice between thinking and doing, or thinking something and then visualizing it, or visualize it. I don't need the voice to tell me before the voice can go. So I got rid of it. And this narrative voice just disappeared. It just went. And that gave me kind of a clarity and a peace of mind. It was lovely. And I've carried that forward to this day. And I must have been probably about 34, 35 when that happened. I remember getting to 30 and thinking, well, if people don't like me now, then there's nothing I can do about it because this is who I am. That was a really good thing. That was good for not worrying and filling your head with things or thoughts or anything really. So
yeah, because we have so many thoughts a day, and it can it
gets
crazy.
chocker in there. Yeah. So for me, the first step was getting rid of the narrative voice in my own head. The one that would, the voice would tell me what I was seeing. It was unnecessary. You know, I could just see it. I didn't need this narrative voice in my head. I don't even know where it come from. But I think it might have come out of feeling insecure. You know, or not, or yes, actually, it will be insecurity, because it was almost like I needed to tell myself what I was seeing was real, what I was hearing was real, what I thought was okay, and it was like a reassurance thing, I presume, really.
Yeah.
But one day it just went, and then from there on, I could close my eyes at night or any time, really. I can nod off any time. It's great. No voice. If I had to think about something, instead of having a narrative in between thinking and doing, I just had silence until I figured it out. Then I would respond to my surroundings. You know, it was amazing. It was amazing. So meditation's easier now, but I'd say that's where it started.
Yeah, silence is good. Sometimes we need silence, and to be quiet as well. You know.
Yeah.
Julie. It's silence is so much information bombarding us in the world. We just need silence at times.
Yeah. That's yeah. Sometimes we have like a need to fill in that gap, or in a conversation, in a good relaxed conversation with somebody, you can have a silence. You can sit and you can have a sip of your tea, or you can sit there comfortably. If you fill in the silence, it's too much.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just got to switch off all your technology, and because we get so much information bombarding us 24/7, Julie, and it's it can drive me crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it's like living without your phone. Actually, switching your phone off. That's great. Because we've all become almost attached to it. It's like a lot of the art that I've seen lately, pictures again on social media. I'm laughing at it now because I think I'm agreeing with the pictures that I'm seeing, that, people are looking in their phones instead of interacting with what's around them and stuff. And there I am looking and enjoying it on the very thing it's telling me not to look at.
I know.
But yeah, it's just sometimes it all needs to go off and we need to get our feet back into reality, which is lovely. And I do that a lot because of where I live. I live on the river. The river's ever flowing. It's movement, it's fluid, and it helps me to stay the same. It helps me to be fluid, moving, relaxed, comfortable, and basic. That is what I like to do. That is my meditation, really. I just sit there and just don't do anything at all and just listen to the water, feel it as going underneath my boat, or I'm sat on my little sofa. I'll look out the window, look at the breeze in the trees, the green of the grass, maybe a robin coming by. We've got swans that live close by. I like to watch them. They've been teaching their babies to fly, which has been lovely. And that is cool. That's great. That's better than looking at your phone. Better than watching the TV. Yeah.
Yeah. Nature's good. And what are your plans for Christmas? What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be at work. I'm doing 4 nights. I'm doing tomorrow night, Christmas Eve, Christmas night, Boxing Day night, and the night after. I work in a rehab hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm happy doing that. I'm happy doing that.
Keeping busy.
I'm busy in ways that I want to be busy. I don't like the corporate consuming sort of Christmas. I don't like that, so I will try and edge away from it if I can.
Well, that's where society's going, because I think businesses soon are going to open 365 days a year.
Yeah.
It never used to be like that.
No, it used to be in Britain, you'd always know that the shop would be, as a kid, the shop was shut on a Sunday. And it was open 9 to 5. After 5 o'clock, forget it, mate. If you didn't get your pint of milk before 5 o'clock, you'd have to wait till the next day. But then saying that, the milkman delivered that. So yeah, things have definitely changed, and it's far too fast. It's far too, I was explaining to my brother-in-law why I don't really partake in Christmas. I said, you can run around the shops trying to find gifts for people that are well off, and you'll buy this gift. And in my case, the gift would cost me a lot because of the wage that I earn. My wage isn't great. It's very basic. And so I'll go and buy something that is 20 quid, say. And I'll buy it for somebody who probably could earn 20 quid, I don't know, in an hour. If less than that. So my gift for me will cost me a morning's worth.
Mm.
The same gift that they brought, it would cost them 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You know, that was what it was like, because the jobs that they had, and they were paying more in tax 10 years ago than, on their pension. Sorry, they're paying more into their pension 10 years ago than I'm earning today a month.
Mm.
So I was saying I could strive and try my best to buy these things that will be nice, and it will go, you know, in the pile of the prezzies. The person will pick it up, love it, yep, that's great, put it to the side, next present please. And I've worked hard and thought about buying that gift, and that's what's happened to it. It's been uplifted, looked at, disregarded, next. And that is why I don't like getting involved with it, because that's how it's become to me. It's an expected thing, you know, it's a judged thing, and I just don't want any part of it. So I will go to work and go and be kind. I'll go and try and make someone feel all right, you know, because I've got plenty of that going on. I could do that, you know, forever, and I enjoy it. And I know that it will work. It will help that person get better, because, like I said, I work in a rehab hospital, and I think that health comes from inside as well, and your thoughts on your own body, you know. So if you've been given positive thoughts, you will get well quicker, I think, and be more confident about what you do. So I'd rather do that than give out gifts any day of the week. You can keep, the shops won't be getting a penny one from me.
So what do you do at the rehab center?
I help people get back to normal. It's like people who've had like operations on their limbs, so we help them gain their strength back, get them on like a routine to be walking again, so that they can become independent enough to go home. You get other people who come in. I've got other people with dementia come in, and we've got them. We'll bring them back to health, because they've slipped down a little path of health where, you know, they haven't really cared for themselves enough. Maybe they've had a fall, and we'll have to reevaluate their life for them. Are they safe at home? Will they feed themselves and look after themselves okay? Do they need a bit of a hand? So that's what we do. We are the process before going home or going to like a place for more rehab, more help, more assistance, you know. That's what we do. That's what I do. So you can get someone who's come in, they've had a hip operation on their leg, they can't walk very well. Their confidence, because they've had a fall, has been knocked, and they're not looking forward to standing on their leg because it hurts. They've got dementia, they can't remember how they did it, but they know they're frightened, and they're in a place they don't know amongst a load of strangers. I've got to try and help them, you know. First thing I do is I tell them what my name is. I tell them where they are. I tell them that they're safe. My first step is always to tell them they are safe, and that I will look out for them and they'll be okay. And that's it. The rest flows then. That's what I do.
I was watching a documentary on Disney Plus it's called First Wave of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shocked me because there was this, I think this police officer had it, and, you know, after recovering, couldn't walk properly.
That's right. Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
It can absolutely debilitate you, you know.
And he had diabetes and pre-existing medical condition.
Yeah.
And when you see that, oh my God.
Yeah. I've seen some things in my time, especially with the COVID on as well. Yeah. It's been pretty hard going.
Especially on mental health.
Yeah. It's hard for me to witness people who are incredibly ill and they can't have their families in to see them because there's a lockdown, and you are the only person there to hold their hand, and it could be their last night with us. You know, I have had that scenario, and I'm dressed head to foot in protective clothing, you know, masks, visors, gowns, gloves, aprons, the lot, you know, and you're going into somebody and you look very alien to them anyway. And I still have to try and give eye contact through this mask, which I try my best to do. I'll always go to hold a hand first. And, you know, I have to make contact through this physical barrier to someone who hasn't got their family with them in a massive time of need. And you have to just work your way around that. And the pressure, it's exhausting doing it. It's exhausting because it's not just one person. You have a lot of people to do this for. And then you've got all the staff that you work with. They're all tired too. They're all wearing the full regalia. And yeah, they're worried about taking it home to their families. You know, all of this before the jabs and everything were around. You know, we had to live in that. That, you know, we could get it at any point. You know, it was hard work. It was hard work. And, you know, all I could do is give what I could and just take each day at a time. And when you come home and you're exhausted, you'd have to forget the day. You'd have to physically say, there is nothing I can do to change today. I've done everything in my power to make the day a better place. I've given of my best, you know. And then you have to wake up fresh the next day and start again. Yeah, so it was crazy, which is why, like I said to you, I definitely need my freedom. I think I've earned it.
No, and go for it.
Yeah, the opportunity has presented itself along with everything else, and that's why it is time to go on that spiritual adventure. Yeah, it might be hard going. I might long for a nice sofa to sit on by about mid-June.
Exactly. Do you plan to travel next year, or what's the situation where you are?
Well, at the moment, we are on a daily kind of update. So we don't know what the situation is, but I'm hoping that over the winter time, we will get a lot of things under our belt and sorted so that when the spring comes, which is when I want to do my traveling, that things are settled and we can look forward to a nice summer. That's what I'm aiming for, hopefully. So yeah, but at the moment it's just daily wait and see what's said, really. That's what it is over in Britain at the moment.
Exactly.
What's it like where you are? And how are you dealing with it? How are you coping?
Just doing the podcast as well, exercising. I don't know what's going to happen too. If they're going to have a lockdown, go hiking.
Are you, because they have been speaking like that over here. I don't know if that you're the same. It's like every day, or do you think it'll be the 27th? You know, will it be after the Christmas period? You know, we don't know. We're kind of on tender hooks here. We don't know what's going to happen when, really. But anything could happen. It could be a lockdown. It might not be. You know, we just don't know. We don't know. Scotland is slightly different to England as well. And Wales and Ireland have their own sort of ways of dealing with it as well. So you've got like 4 different places all working according to what's happening in their areas. So, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Hopefully things improve in the long run as well.
Yeah. Because I just don't know how long people's mental health will hold out, to be honest. Because I think this thing is affecting everybody in one way or another. There's a pressure there, one way or another, for absolutely everyone. Everyone that I would know, anyway. I mean, you know, if you had a little castle somewhere, you could lock yourself away and you had thousands of acres of land or something, I suppose you might be all right. You'd just carry on as normal, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, you look 100 years ago, the Spanish flu, when that happened, that was quite bad as well.
Yeah.
No one ever talked about it when I was growing up, at least.
No, they didn't hear either. It was only recently that it's got its airplay, if you know what I mean. Suddenly it's a comparison to the Spanish flu. I know a lot of people died, you know. It was a real thinner out, wasn't it?
Yeah, then there was the Black Plague and the Black Death as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this pandemic will last or what's going to happen.
I know, because of the different variants. That's the problem. Is, you know, what are we on, Omicron now? So that's, what's that, the third? No, there's four. We're on the fourth version, basically, aren't we? So
do you believe, Julie, that China has the cure?
I don't know. Well, if they had the cure, right, why are they not telling us what it is?
Yeah, good question.
I'd love to know that. That would be great. If yeah. But we're getting nothing this way. We're getting no information from China at all. Not getting anything. Cards are being played close to their chest.
That's just my theory. I don't think that's been proven, or if it was grown in a laboratory.
Yeah.
And it got out somehow.
Yeah, we don't even know where it started, and we're not going to know when it's going to end. That's just how it is. And you know, it'd be nice to think that there'd be a report in a couple of years' time that gives you all the information that you could possibly want. But that's not going to happen, you know? So we have to basically work with what we've got, don't we? You know, and not to stop making plans. We still have to make plans. You know, we have to just do the both sides of the coin type plans now. That's what we have to do, really. But yeah, exactly. So what time of the day is it with you now, then?
It is about 9:41 a.m. in the morning. Just got up.
Is it sunny?
No, it's overcast. We've had hot weather last 2 days, and I like the cold. I'm a winter person.
Oh, you can come here and I'll go over to you if you like.
So you like the heat?
I love a bit of heat. I'd rather have heat than cold any day. Here I woke up to a stratus cloud, which is like a grey covering.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that damp. We get damp here.
Is it early morning for you?
No, it is 22:42, 11:15 in the evening.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so you're going to bed.
I'll be off in a minute, yeah.
So that's what it is, summer. And the whole thing about climate change, Julie, is a never-ending debate, too, that's been going on since Al Gore was the, vice president. So I don't know what's next. Yeah, if climate change is real. And, what's going to happen with society after the pandemic as well, and how we can get back to normal. But all you can do is, just keep meditating, keep practicing yoga, and keep on, doing your best in your life, and just thinking, how, what's next? What can I achieve for 2022? And how can we, move on? So it looks like we just lost you, Julie. This was a great podcast, by the way, and I'd really like to thank you for joining the Stephen Shields radio show. I'm going to end the room right now. I'd like to thank all the listeners who stopped by. Also, please subscribe and turn on notifications wherever you get your favorite podcast. Podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart. I think I'm on Stitcher, iHeartRadio. I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year for you. Stay safe during this Christmas break, and bye for now.